ॐ वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। Okay, you can repeat now. I will say you can repeat after me. Vakratunda Mahakaya
Vakratunda Mahakaya
Surya Koti Samaprabha
Surya Koti Samaprabha
Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva
Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva
Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada
Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada
Saraswati Namastubhyam
Saraswati Namastubhyam
Varade Kamarupini
Varade Kamarupini
Vidyarambham Karishyami
Vidyarambham Karishyami
Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada
Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada
Saṃskṛtam Dayanandam. You can repeat it from me.
Saṃskṛtam Dayanandam
Paramarthasvarupinam
Paramarthasvarupinam
Tattvajnana Prashastaram
Tattvajnana Prashastaram
Pranatosmi Param Padam
Pranatosmi Param Padam
Vagartha Vivasampraktau
Vagartha Vivasampraktau
Vagartha Pratipattaye
Vagartha Pratipattaye
Jagatah Pitaro Vande
Jagatastha Pitaro Vande
Parvati Parameshwarau Parvati Parameshwarau
Parvati Param.
Can you hear me? Hello? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yenakshara samamnayam
Yenakshara samamnayam
Adhigamya maheshwarat
Adhigamya Maheshwarat
Kritsnam Vyakaranam Proktam
Krishnam Vyakaranam Proktam
Tasmai Paninaye Namaha
Tasmai Paninaye Namaha
Vakyakaram Vararuchim
Vakyakaram Vararuchim
Bhashyakaram Patanjalim
Bhashyakaram Patanjalim
Paninim Sutrakarancha
Paninim Sutrakaramcha
Pranatosmi Munitrayam
Pranatosmi Munitrayam
Om Sahana Bhavatu
सहनावतु
Sahanau bhunaktu.
सहनौ भुनक्तु
Sahaviryam karavavahai.
सह वे
Tejasvinavadhitamastu. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tejasvinavadhitamastu.
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु
Ma vidvishavahai.
मा
विद्विषावहै
विद्विषावहै
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति
शान्तिः
Okay. We have seen the meaning of all the prayers, the shlokas. I think this mantra we have not seen the meaning. I'll start with this the mantra, Sahanavavatu, give the meaning briefly. You can mute your mic. So this is the prayer which is chanted by both the teacher and the student. In all the classes, you will find this prayer is chanted, whether it is Samskrtam or Vedanta, where the knowledge transfer takes place from the teachers to the student. This mantra is chanted. Therefore, it is for the teacher and also for the student. Prayer to Ishvara Bhagavan. So this is one of the Shanti mantra. There are many Shanti mantras are there in the Veda. This is one of the Shanti mantra. This is mantra is from the Krishna Yajurveda. The meaning of the mantra is so beautiful, and it is a commentary is written by Bhagavad Pada on this mantra. We are not getting into those commentary and all. I'll just give you a simple meaning. Sahana Bhavatu. It is in Samskrtam. There is something called the sandhi. Sandhi means joining. So two or more words can join, can be written together. When it's written together, a lot of changes happens. So it looks as though one word, but it is not one. It is three. Here Sahana Vavatu is there. Sa Ha Nau Avatu. These are the words in that Sahana Vavatu, the word. It is not a single word, it has 4 words in it. Avatu. Avatu means Rakshatu, protect. Saha. Saha is he, may he. Saha is a pronoun. It means he, Bhagavan. In English also we use the word he. He is the pronoun stands for he is a Lord, he is God. The same way in Samskrtam also we use the pronoun Saha. Saha is Bhagavan. Saha now avatu. May Bhagavan protect both of us. Both of us. Who are those? Both the teacher and the student. There is some disturbance in the internet. I don't know why. The last class, the previous class now, which I took from 5:30 to 6:30, it was very clear. Maybe because of the video or something, some of you have switched on. So there maybe is an interruption in my voice because of that possible. So if there is any disruption in my voice, you can let me know. But it will, anyway, I can't do anything. It will automatically get corrected. So At least I will know, I will repeat if I had said something. Okay. So, Sahana Vavatu. May Ishvara protect both of us. Both of us, both the teacher and the student. That is why it is chanted by both the disciple and the guru. Sahanau Bhunaktu, the second the line. Sahanau Bhunaktu. May Ishvara Bhunaktu nourish both of us. Nourish what? Nourish in terms of what? In terms of food. Here, the knowledge transfer is going to take place. The knowledge is, this is Vidya. Our focus is on Vidya, knowledge, gaining knowledge. So the giver of knowledge is the Acharya, the receiver of knowledge is the student. Therefore, a transaction is there between the teacher and the student, between the giver and the receiver. What is given is not a physical object. Therefore, what is received is not a physical object. What is given is knowledge. And that is what is received by the student. The teacher who gives the knowledge and the student who receives the knowledge, both their buddhi should be intact. Both their buddhi should be well nourished. The teacher's buddhi also, because the teacher has to communicate, he has to transfer, he has to effectively do the job of teaching, communicating. Therefore, teacher's buddhi also should be well nourished. So nourishment in terms of knowledge. And the receiver, the student's buddhi also must be well nourished. So therefore, Sahanau Bhunaktu. For this nourishment of the buddhi of the teacher and the student, both have to pray to Bhagavan. They may both may have buddhi. Both may have good buddhi, nourished buddhi. But when it comes to the transfer of knowledge, the communication, we pray to Ishvara that our buddhi may nourish. This may Ishvara nourish both of us in terms of knowledge, so that the teacher can communicate his knowledge effectively to the student whose buddhi is also well nourished. So Saganau Bhunaktu. The teacher must definitely, the teacher's buddhi will be nourished because he knows, and the student's buddhi also must be nourished because he is ready to receive the knowledge. He has come to the teacher and asking for knowledge. Therefore, both are prepared. But still, there may be some obstacles. So that obstacles should go away. And therefore, we pray to Bhagavan. May Bhagavan nourish both of us. Nourish the buddhi of both the teacher and the student. So the nourishment of buddhi, not the body. Body is not talked about, buddhi is talked about. And Sahaviryam Karavavahai. Sahaviryam Karavavahai. May the teacher and the student put forth effort. Put forth effort together, work together. The teacher also has to work and the student also has to work. The teacher must be endowed with the ability to communicate. The teacher must be endowed with the ability to transfer the knowledge, what he has, properly to the student. So a lot of factors is there in transferring the knowledge. The words should be available for him, and his thinking also should be line. It should not go here and there when he teaches a particular topic. So it's all for all we need Bhagavan's grace. Grace is important. Therefore, to tap the grace of Bhagavan, both the teacher and the student, they pray. And may the student be endowed with the power of grasping. When the teacher teaches, the student should be able to acknowledge, should be able to assimilate, to receive, assimilate the teaching. Therefore, student buddhi, the student also be endowed with the power of grasping and understanding. So saha viryam karavavahai. This is the effort. This is the effort on the part of the teacher as well as the student. Saha viryam karavavahai. May both of us put forth the effort together. Tejasvina vadhitamastu. Adhitam, what is studied. Let us understand what we study. Let us understand what we study very clearly. Let there not be any ambiguity. Let us gain clear knowledge. Let there be clear transfer of knowledge between the teacher and the student. Ma vit vishavahai. And in the process, let there be no misunderstanding. Let there be no misunderstanding between the teacher and the student. Because it is possible. The misunderstanding between the teacher and the student is possible. And particularly in a Gurukula Vasa, it is possible. So therefore, that we offer our prayer to Bhagavan. Ma vit vishavahai. Let us not hate. Let us not dislike each other. Maybe not mutually dislike each other. Let there be total understanding between us so that I receive knowledge and the student. So that the student, as a student, I receive knowledge, and as a teacher, I give knowledge. So this is the simple meaning of this prayer. Important prayer to be chanted before every class. And finally we say Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. 3 times we say Shanti. Shanti is praying to Bhagavan to remove all the obstacles, pratibandha. The obstacles can be of 3 types. Adhyatmika, Adibhautika, Adidevika. The obstacles could be from myself. From myself means from the students. From the student could be an obstacle for himself to learn. His focus may not be there in the class, or his mind is disturbed with something, what had happened. So therefore, you need the grace of yourself to be present mentally in the class. Physical presence is one thing, and mentally you have to be present. So obstacles of yourself should not become an entrance to gain the knowledge. That is called Adhyatmika Shanti. For that, for our own obstacles, born of our thinking, born of our worries, our anxiety. So we have to keep away all those things when we are in the class. So Adhyatmika Shanti. One Shanti is for that. Another Shanti, Adi Bhautika, another Shanti for Adi Devika. There could be a disturbance in your surrounding. That also you cannot avoid. For example, there may be a dog barking near your house. So that becomes an obstacle for your learning, for listening. That is an obstacle. So towards that, we have only a limited control. The obstacles are, suppose there is a meeting going on around your house and there is a loudspeaker, is there. So that also is an obstacle for you to listen to the class. Over those obstacles, you have only limited control. Therefore, to ward off those obstacles also, one more Shanti, Om Shantihi. Another Shanti is called Adi Devika Shanti. That is the obstacles which are born from Deva. Deva is these natural things, natural calamities. If there is rain, or if there is any physical, any disaster like rain or something that over which we don't have any control at all. Yeah, Adi Devika, only Bhagavan has control. So Adi Devika control, over Adi Devika we don't have control. over the factors which over which we don't have control. They are called Adi Devika. They are under the control of the Bhagavan. So over flood, we don't have control. If it is rains heavily, we don't have control. And if there is the thunder, continuous thunder, you can't attend the class. There are Adi Devika, the natural thing over which we don't have control. And man created unnatural thing we have control, over which we have control. They are Adi Bhautika. Like as I said, if the dog barks and disturbs the class, we can chase away the dog. That is possible. Limited control is there. So therefore, for that one Adi Devika one Shanti, Adi Bhautika one Shanti, and Adhyatmika one Shanti. So for three types of obstacles, three Shantis are offered. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So offering three Shantis to all the three possible obstacles. Now we are entering into the class. Therefore, this mantra is important so that we chant every class. Now we will get into the introduction to Samskrtam. As I told in the previous class, we will be learning from the Sanskrit alphabets, which are called Devanagari script. Devanagari script we will start maybe in the next class or after that. Before that, give a introduction to the language. So, therefore, this will be the first class. So, Punas Swagatam. Welcome all of you again to our first class of Samskrtam. Samskrtam. It is Samskrtam. It is the language is considered to be the one of the old and classical languages spoken by the people of this Bharata Varsha. The people of Bharata, they spoke this language. It was a native language. And it was prevalent in the form of different dialect. The language was prevalent in the form of different dialect. And therefore, it was to some extent different from the present Samskrtam, present language. They call it as Vedic Sanskrit. In fact, each Veda, all the four Veda, each Veda has its own book of grammar. So the grammar also differs. There are different grammars available. For each Veda, there is a different book of grammar. For certain grammatical knowledge, we have to refer only that book. And this Samskrtam, the language, once it was a spoken language. Our forefathers were speaking this language. Over a period of time, we have lost connection with the language as well as the culture. And it is high time that we have to establish connection again. And this language is considered to be the finest and the most accurate language which has existed on earth. And this language, in spite of the continuous attack of the foreign invasion, the language it survived. The Mughals, they ruled for 800 years, and the British came and they ruled for 200 years. So in spite of their effort to damage our culture and the language still survives. Therefore, it is amazing, and thanks to the initiative of some great people, the language still survives, and again it's coming back to its same pristine glory. So it's a good news that Samskrtam still survives, and it is in fact the zeal to learn the language, it increases. People have realized the importance of this language. And they see something in the language, and therefore there is a growing interest. The interest to learn is growing faster among the people. And you are all showing interest to learn Samskrtam. Itself shows that Samskrtam is growing and it will live forever. It is a Deva Bhasha. It doesn't have death at all. So even somebody says Samskrita is a dead language, it is not. It is not a Mrita Bhasha. It is a living language. As long as our culture, our tradition lives, language also lives. In all the words, in all the languages we speak, the words, if you analyze, it will have its root in Samskrtam. Therefore, Samskrtam will ever be a living language. It doesn't have death. That is why it is Aksharam. The letters of Samskrtam is called Aksharam, and the language itself is Aksharam. And this language, Samskrtam, it belongs to a group of languages called Proto-Indo-European languages. It is termed as PIE. PIE stands for Proto-Indo-European languages. Latin, Greek, and other languages, they are considered to be part of this Proto-Indo-European language. This PIE is considered to be the common ancestor of many of Indo-European languages. What is this PIE? PIE is a theory. It was a theory. It formed during the 19th century. According to this theory, the PIE theory, it's an hypothetical theory. According to this theory, by comparing the most ancient languages, the parent language can be reconstructed. The parent language can be traced from the languages which were descended from it. From that parent language can be reconstructed. The reconstruction of the parent language is called a Proto-Indo-European model. And this PIE is said to be a spoken language during the period 4500 BC to 2500 BC. The linguistic reconstruction of PIE, it provides insight into the culture and the religion of the native speakers of the language. And when the native speakers of the language, when they become isolated due to migrations, then it diverged into ancient and modern Indo-European languages. And the widely spoken offspring language of PIE, Spanish, English, Persian, French, German, Portuguese, Italian, and many Indian languages like Hindi, Urdu, Marathi, Bengali. So they are considered to be the offsprings of the PIE. So it shows that Samskrtam is the mother of many Indian as well as European languages. And William Jones, a British philologist, was already familiar with Greek and Latin. When he studied Samskrtam, he said, Samskrtam is more perfect than Greek and more copious than Latin and more refined than either. So it shows how Samskrtam is well formed. And we use the word Sanskrit. So far I have not used. Generally it is used Sanskrit. As I said before in the previous class, Sanskrit is not the right word. There is nothing wrong with the word, but it is an English word. You can use the word Samskrtam. Samskrtam is the right word. So therefore, from this class onwards, we will use the word Samskrtam, not Sanskrit. So So therefore, our first learning is to address a language as Saṃskṛtam. That is our first learning. And when you write Saṃskṛtam, you can see that a dot is there below M and dot is there below R. So it is the diacritical mark. Saṃskṛtam, when you write SAMSKRTAM with the diacritical marks. This is called transliteration. The transliterated word is Saṃskṛtam. And for that we have an international standard. International Alphabet of Sanskrit Transliteration. So this transliteration, it is based on this international standard. And this standard, it was formed in the year 2001. In the year 2001, another international standard for this romanization, it was formed. It is ISO 15919. That is transliteration of Devanagari and related Indic scripts into Latin characters. It was published, which uses diacritical marks. The diacritical marks, you can map the consonants and vowels in Brahmi script to Latin script. Brahmi script is considered to be the older script than Devanagari. Samskrtam uses Devanagari, and Brahmi script was older than Devanagari. Samskrtam uses Devanagari script. Not only Samskrtam, many Indian languages, they uses Devanagari script. Devanagari script, it represents the sound in the form of vowels and consonants and their combinations. Combination of vowels and the consonants. So in the beginning, we will take the support of the transliteration when we learn Devanagari script, and slowly we will drop the transliteration. After that, only Devanagari script. We can take the support of the transliteration as we saw in the prayer. For the prayer, there was a transliteration was there. But after some time, after a few classes, after we learn Devanagari script, we have to drop the transliteration because we should learn the language in the script of the language. The language has to be learned through Devanagari. So therefore, after some time, we will avoid mapping Devanagari script into any of our native language script. See, Samskrtam can be mapped into our native language also. Any Indian language can be mapped. For example, Vishnu Saṃskṛtam is there. It can be read in Devanagari script. It can be read in your native script also. It can be read in Tamil or Telugu. But it is better to read in Devanagari. If you take the support of other language, your native language, there may be problem. There may be problem with regard to the pronunciation of certain letters. Therefore, in the beginning, we will take the transliteration support. Later, we have to drop it. We have to drop and we will read only through Devanagari. Therefore, here in our slide also, you will find the Sanskrit words with the Devanagari. With the Sanskrit, the Devanagari script with the transliteration you will find. The transliteration is given only in the beginning. Once we learn Devanagari, that you will not find. Okay. And this language, Saṃskṛtam, it is a living language. Why it is a living language? Because it has roots in Vedas. Vedas are the prana of Ishvara, Bhagavan. And therefore, Vedas are not subject to destruction. And therefore, Samskrtam also doesn't have destruction. Since Veda being the prana of Ishvara, therefore, Veda cannot be destroyed. And the language has its roots in Veda, therefore, the language also cannot be destroyed. That which cannot be destroyed is called Aksharam. Aksharam, Samskrita word, Aksharam. That which cannot be destroyed is called Aksharam. Kshara is which can be destroyed. Kshara. With a negative particle, Aksharam, it cannot be destroyed. The letters of the language are called Aksharam, it cannot be destroyed as the Vedas. Vedas are not subject to destruction, and therefore the letters and the language which has roots in the Veda, and therefore the letters of the language, they also don't have destruction. That is why it is called Aksharam, because the language is nothing but the sound. The Veda is nothing but Shabda, sound. But as sound, it doesn't have destruction. Therefore, the words, the letters, which are nothing but the sound is the sound is represented in Devanagari script, and the corresponding sound to the script, it doesn't have destruction. Aksharam, na ksharati. It cannot be destroyed. The letters of the language are called aksharam. The letters of the language doesn't have destruction. It means the letters are nothing but the sound. The sound, it is there in nature and it is there in the Veda. Therefore, it doesn't have destruction. Therefore, since Samskrtam has roots in Veda in the form of the sound, therefore, it cannot be destroyed. It doesn't have destruction. As I said, Akshara means that which cannot be destroyed. And this language, it is a living language. Why? Because it is still spoken in some parts of India. It is still spoken, it is still taught, it is still available for communication in some parts of India. And the language is considered to be the second official language of Jharkhand. And more than that, if you want to the study Upanishads, Gita, and Brahma Sutra, all these Vedantic texts, you must know Samskrtam. And the people who study all these texts, they know Samskrtam, and it is taught in Samskrtam. Sometimes it is taught in Samskrtam. There are people who teach us in Samskrtam, all these texts. Therefore, you can know the importance of the Samskrtam. When you know Samskrtam, then you can understand Gita. Then you can understand Upanishads, Vedanta. In addition to all this, in addition to the Upanishads, Gita, Brahma Sutra, you can study any Purana, Ramayana, Mahabharata, or any text, even shlokas, what you chant. You can understand the meaning. You will appreciate the meaning when you know the language. Therefore, Samskrtam is important. And if you don't know Samskrtam, then you'll be totally handicapped if you don't know Samskrtam. Because when you know the language, when you read, you will appreciate the meaning. You will appreciate certain things can be represented, can be conveyed only in that language, which other languages cannot do. Every language has got certain uniqueness. And when it comes to Samskrtam, since it is as a spiritual the language, the tattvam, the tattvam can be conveyed only through the medium of Samskrtam. Therefore, any amount of translated study, it will not help to understand what is taught by Gita or Upanishad or Brahma Sutra. Therefore, Samskrita study is important from the viewpoint of the study of scriptures, and also it is important from the viewpoint of understanding our culture, our tradition. Therefore, we can decide whether it is worth studying Samskrtam. And some people say Samskrtam is difficult. It is not. The language is difficult. It is our mindset that makes the language difficult. So anything what we learn in the beginning, it will be difficult. But once you study, once you start studying and put forth your effort continuously, then you will learn and enjoy the language. When you understand, when you can go into the etymology of the word, then you will appreciate and your interest for study will grow. In the beginning, as I said, you may find it difficult, but we should not give up. We should not be aramba shuraha. So our effort should be a continuous effort. So therefore, So we will start studying the language with the same dedication as we continued, and as the same dedication as we start our class today. So with the same zeal, we will continue our study of Samskrtam throughout. As I said, I don't have any plan of how many classes it will be. It will go on because there are a lot of things to be studied. First the language, and then the grammar is there, and kavyas are there. So there is no end to the study of Samskrtam. We will learn as much as possible. Okay. Samskrtam, when we say Samskrtam, it has got two words. Samskrtam, Samyakratam, Samskrtam. Sam and Sams is there and Kritam is there. Kritam is a word which means well defined. Kritam means defined, refined. Samskrtam, a prefix is there. A prefix added to the word Kritam. Samskrtam, when we say, it means well defined, well refined, well formulated, well structured, highly structured and systematic language. Samskrtam. Kritam means done, defined. Sams with a sum is a prefix. When you add prefix to the word Krita, it becomes Samskrita. It means a well perfected language. Samskrtam. That is why Samskrtam is called Deva Bhasha. It is a language of the gods. Deva Bhasha. Samskrtam has got many names. Deva Bhasha is there. Deva Vani is there. Sura Bharati, Bharati, Amara Bharati, Amaravani, Girvani, Devavani. All these are the names of the language. Samskrtam. Samskrtam nama devi vak anvakhyata magarshibhi. The great poet Dandin, he says, Samskrtam nama devi vak. It is the language of the gods, spoken by the gods. Magarshibhi. So therefore, Samskrtam means Samyak Kritam Samskrtam, cultured, refined language. So it is one of the oldest and the most systematic language. That is why it is Samskrtam. And when you learn the language, you will appreciate the vastness and the power of expression of the language. And Samskrtam is very rich in vocabulary. It has got a lot of words are there. And you yourself can coin many words. Therefore, there are dictionaries available for the basic words. But you yourself can coin words. With the available words, you yourself can coin words. So you can coin a word having a number of words. That is called a compound word. When you learn the language, you will be seeing a compound word. For a compound word, you cannot refer the dictionary. For a basic word, you can refer the dictionary. But for a compound word, there is no dictionary available because it is formed by you. So, therefore, the Samskrtam has the flexibility of forming the compound word as you want to denote an object or to denote a situation or a thing. Thus, it is possible. In addition to Samskrtam, which has got many words, you yourself can form words with the words available in Samskrtam. And in Samskrtam, there is a book of synonyms is available. It is called Amara Kosha. Amara Kosha is a book which has got the synonyms. Dictionary is available to know the meaning of simple words. That is one thing. And a book of synonyms is available that is called Amara Kosha. There you will find a lot of words for a single word. For example, the word for water, Jalam, is there. There are 67 equivalent words for water. Similarly, Vrishti means rain. there are 250 words are there for rain. All these words, the synonyms, they are given in the form of a poem. That text is called Amarakosha. So we will be studying Amarakosha. If not in detail, at least some part we will learn. So therefore, Samskrtam has got a rich vocabulary. It has got a rich vocabulary, and with the available vocabulary, you yourself can form your sentence, your words. You can coin your words. Therefore, in Samskrtam, for all the modern names, scientific equipments, or any invention, we can coin a word. We can coin a equivalent word in Samskrtam. That flexibility the language has. And as I said, the many modern languages can be traced back to the Samskrtam, the words of the Samskrtam. Many words in the modern languages can be traced back to the words of the Samskrtam. You can see a few words I'm giving here as an example. Samskrita words and the English equivalent words. Go. Go is a word. And the equivalent word in English is cow. In fact, the go in Samskritam, it has become cow in English. It is go becomes cow. Similarly, the word sarpa. Sarpa has become snake or serpent. Serpent in English. The meaning is same. Sarpa is serpent, snake. Go is cow. And danta. Danta is teeth. That becomes dental. Dental in Samskritam, in English. The word danta of Samskritam has become dental in English. And pancha. Pancha means 5. That becomes 5 in English. Tat. Tat. Samskrita word is tat. The English word is that. Tat. That. Sama. Sama is equal, similar. That the equivalent English word is similar. Sapta. Sapta is 7. And similarly, Ashta. Ashta becomes 8 in English. Nava. Nava is 9. And Yauvana. The word Yauvana becomes juvenile. This is only a few words, but there are a lot of words are there. A lot of words in Samskritam. It can be traced to, a lot of words in other language can be traced to the Samskritam words. Therefore, you can see the Samskritam as the mother of all languages. Not only English, there are many words in other languages which has its root in Samskritam. Therefore, that is why Samskritam is considered to be the mother of all the languages. And the letter of the language. The letter of the language is called Varna. The letter of the language is called Varna. Varna has got different meaning. Varna means color also is there. Varnashrama we say. Varna means color. Varna can mean other, it can have other meanings also. But here it means letter. Varnaha, that is in our, we are going to study the Devanagari script. Therefore here, Varna means letter. Mala means garland. So Varna Mala means garland of letters. That is, the letters of the language is called Varnamala. The Varna becomes a garland for the language. Therefore, the letters of the language is called Varnamala. Both the vowels and consonants, they become the mala for the language. Therefore, it is called Varnamala. And how do we get the word Varna? Etymologically, it is derived Varnyate, Preryate iti Varnaha. It means that which is impelled from the vocal organs. That is called Varna. The meaning of the word varna is that which is impelled from the vocal organs, which is pronounced from the vocal organs. So varna can mean shabda, the sound. It can mean sound, it can mean letter. The sound is represented in the form of a letter, and the letter becomes the garland for the language. Therefore, Vargamala means all the letters of the language are called Vargamala. And this Varna can also mean that which delineates or which describes very precisely. Varna can mean that which describes very precisely. This is another meaning of the word Varna. And Devanagari is the script, the name of the Samskrita script. As I said before, this Devanagari, the script is used by other languages also. Other languages also uses Devanagari script, and Samskrtam also uses Devanagari script. And the Varnamala, the letters of the language, is also called Aksharamala. The letters are called Varna. The letters are also called Aksharam, and the Aksharam is a garland of the language. Therefore, Aksharamala or Varnamala. Aksharamala or Varnamala means the same thing. The letters of the language, which is Devanagari. And the letters of the language can be classified into vowels and the consonants. It can be classified into vowels and the consonants. First, let us see vowels. There are 13 vowels in Samskrtam. There are 13 vowels. Vowels are called Swaraha or Swaravarnaha or Achaha. Simple way of representing the vowels is Achaha. So you won't be able to read the Devanagari. Now you can take the support of the transliteration. Swaraha, Swaravarnaha or Achaha. All mean the same vowels. How many vowels are there in the language? 13 vowels. That is what we are going to learn first. So we will start with the vowels from the next class. So we can stop here. If you have any doubts, you can ask. So we can stop with the Shanti Pata. Purnamadaha. If you can ask me after the class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Okay, if you have any doubts, you can ask.